it. 3 rounds off the back of that, but the gun rounds were slow. G2 in a fantastic position to close this one out 2-0, but FaZe will build the wall in the second half. Let me tell you, we'll see you after the break.
Hold up your sign, though. They ain't count on that. They ain't count on that. They ain't count on it. Show what you gon' do. They don't want all that. They don't want all that. They don't want all that. Take off. Rush at the rush. Take off. Rush at the rush. Rush. Take off. Rush at the rush.
Never let you double cross them. Moving through the city like it's Gotham. They told me get one, so I got one. Stop saying you're a boss when you not one. You ain't sacrificed, nah, you ain't lost none. All over the gram like you got a bag. You ain't big dog, we ain't hear none of that. I'm in the gym looking like a running back. And you know the flow, got them coming back. Who I was in the past, I'm unattached. Only focus in this moment is bringing the summer back. Oh, respect my grind, elevate souls and I spread good vibes. Young divine, you know I gotta shine. Raise your hands for a good time. Aye.
Vibe until the morning, sleep until the noon. You said that you want it, so I got it for you. Let's all get together and show them how we move. We move, we move. Bringing summer to you.
Oh, ready, let's go. 'Cause you know how we roll. Let's take it.
Second map of our first quarter-final in Montpellier. Season 9 finals of the ESL Pro League. It's in the second half of Dust 2. FaZe chose to take it here, and G2 come into their T-side with quite a convincing lead. 9-6 on the half-hour machine. He's Henry, and we're jumping into the pistol.
We absolutely are. I can see the buyers coming through. 2 smokes, couple of flashbangs, and P250s. Now, G2 historically do like to go towards long. That's where they'll finish and usually get the bomb down with the 2 smokes to the crossover. But they've gone into a default stance for now, and I prefer that. You want to feel the map out first for the same reasons we saw FaZe fumble in the beginning.
Yeah.
They wanted to go long, but they left T-spawn vulnerable. They got pencered from the tunnels because they didn't have any information. This is classic style now. Default, waiting for aggression, like this. Lucky hasn't gone down, and now we can push the CTs back and make sure they don't get any key intel here.
Interestingly enough, while Lucky's keeping those CTs busy, the rest of G2 do start to gather up short. It's a 3-2 split. Will be held on car by the CTs, and so the charge begins. Neo is the one to receive here. That's a smoke. That's not a good smoke. There's the second to make up for it, maybe for the cross. Gives them a bit of a safe haven on this cross there. Back it away.
Sure. That could be an interesting idea.
Could be. We'll talk about it later, because now bomb should be going down, and there's not a single body hitting the deck. 48 seconds as it goes down. Didn't take them that long. This is an interesting one. Lucky has stuck around on long, and they have to be worried about that. 3 members there. They have to focus on the site, but there is still this dank flank as well.
Yeah, this is looking very good for Lucky here. He times this well. He has the Glock, does deliver, and there's going to be Kenny S and CT spawn as well. They're just mowing these FaZe players down, but Rain, he's been quiet this tournament, but he has to be louder than ever at this point. Oh, that's not bad. Another one on the table as well. We'll see if he can get a defuse attempt there, but it's going to be Guardian getting off the bomb. The P2000 has to deliver. There is a defuse kit. There is a defuse kit. He can do it, but it's not going to happen. Shoxy will deny everything there. G2 have just torn FaZe limb from limb in that round. They couldn't have done a better job. So just to talk about that smoke towards the CD spawn area, I'm thinking they smoke CD spawn and they drop one on the CD box as well to stop jump shots, and I think it might block vision from the car as well for headshots, that tiny little angle. I think that's what it's for. It's the first time I've seen it. I'm not 100% sure if the pros...
It did look like a failed smoke initially, and then you looked at it on the cross, it kind of looked like it blocked them.
It could be. If someone who maybe is a pro watching, let me know on Twitter.
Yeah,
if that's the thing, that would be cool.
That would be really cool, but this could be even cooler. Guardian tested on B. It's all on to Wolof with his deagle. He has to be precise, and he's quite the opposite. 2 bullets to the belly. Doesn't shut down Lucky, and Shox, he's just a robot. Walks in. 2 quick clicks of his AK, and they've got themselves around. They've got themselves a plant. They've got themselves 11-6, Henry. This is starting to look scary. FaZe coming into this half, and they're going to have such a mountain to overcome once they get weapons in their hands.
They force ball here. They're going to be 11-6 down. They're going to have to give up the next round as well. Neo has a Kevlar, a P250, hoping to steal an SMG away. That's as good as it's going to get. This couldn't be better for G2 at this point. They're playing a very clinical game of Dust 2. They've been doing the theory here. Every tournament they seem to look a bit stronger each time, plugging holes and fixing mistakes they've made before, and the skill seems to be getting better and better. It's ever since Amanek joined the roster for me. That's when they've looked really convincing. He's the secondary AWPer on Dust 2. We've seen him do a great job already. He's on the T side now, Mac 10 in hand, and goes down to Neo, but the kill is found. It's not necessarily required, but still takes away his armor, makes things pretty much guaranteed to run up 18 here. They'll have nothing. They can't really invest much more than a couple more P250s, but whether they even do that, I'm not so sure. One smoke for Nico, and that will be for the mid doors, Alex, just to kind of suggest maybe we're not stacking B.
Maybe. That was a great connection onto Nico in the round prior. Shox walked into that site with no fear, and we're back live. Let's not forget, this was FaZe's map pick. This is the map they wanted to play. This is the map they thought they had the best shot on and could potentially concede.
Shout out to Stewie2K in the DMs. It is a thing. That smoke does block vision from car. First time I've seen it.
Cool.
Really cool. Thank you very much.
Just the nade on Guardian. There's 2 Mac 10s in play as well. G2, they could really just build the bank for the rest of this half here to start taking those freebies. Stack in CT with the CTs. Let's have a look. They're going to push. A flash, yes. Shox needs to be cautious about this one. That's an AK lying on the ground. His team are going to fortunately keep things clean. And we've got ourselves 12.
G2. Done their homework. And passing with flying colors by the looks of things. They're bringing new smokes out. Good coordination. Great discipline so far, and it couldn't be a better start on the second half. 3-0 up, a bonus situation, Alex. We've talked about this a lot throughout, but they've upgraded one of the SMGs to an AWP. They'll keep Jackson the Mac 10. 2 players out helmets, make it 3. This is the chance to really go for their haymaker punch, and we'll see if they can do it. Round 19, Jackson with a decent long spawn, flashes out, smokes in the corner. Chad talked about this presence from G2, how they like to exploit this position. The Molotov to stop any CTs going towards that pit. Fast A-split coming through. Nico had to connect. He hits the shot, but doesn't get the frag. Rain, he's in trouble now. Grenade in hand, but same story on the T side. It's scrappy on both ends. No one going down just yet. Who will blink first? I'm not sure. Olofmeister trying to get any information he can. I don't think there's much indication as to where they're heading at this point.
Certainly not. The 2 defenders of B are standing vigilant. It's a question of what information they can gather. Back towards long rain returns, as does G2. Jack's first in with the Mac 10. He can be bounding around if he wants to. He's right on that corner. Kenny's going to take the long fight, and Nico's going to be walking straight in. Here it comes. It's a heavyweight match, but Kenny throws the knockout blow. Reigns for 2. No, not. The Mac 10 of Jax. He was waiting for so long. The Mac 10's not going to work there, though. Neo needs more. Tagged up Lucky. Oh, he's in so much trouble. Amanek 16, Lucky 1. Shox, he's the only one that could have any sort of health, but that doesn't stop Amanek connecting with the orb.
This is now a 2 versus 1. AWP could be enough to win the round. He does need to find the first kill first. Bomb on his back, HE available. Olaf and Guardian, though, both looking very alive and well. Bomb will be planted. It's not a long plant. He'll have to just fight tooth and nail on the bomb site. Do the CD stick together or try and split him from long and short? It's the latter, so Amanek needs to try and isolate one of these players.
He has a shot, though, crawling. He could find Olaf. No, just on the left side. It's not enough. That will be an AWP to retrieve, a double AWP for the future, and a defuse to keep FaZe in it. 7 for the international roster. Wow, they've got a big mountain to climb here.
That's a scary one still, because as we said, you're going into that round with Mac 10s, right? Yes, you did upgrade to an AWP, but there's plenty of money to keep going forward. FaZe do not have foundations laid yet. 2 players survive. Yes, they recover a double AWP setup, but overall, they lose this round. They're 13-7 down. Money's right back down there. Need to be very careful here. Guardian and Nico is a scary prospect, but we need to see more from Guardian on this CT side. Really want him to deliver. He is the master of this map. He knows he can perform with huge numbers as he gets that AWP in his hands now. Kenny S looking for damage as they cross. Nothing spotted, but he will take the shot regardless. Lucky once again focusing towards long. Flashbangs from his teammates. You can see that system time and time again. It's stifling to the CTs. They can't cross over.
Wow.
And we've got 4 players, Alex, heading towards shore. They have not been dissuaded from this position. And here comes the Mac 10. Nico to strike first.
It's so quick. Amanek deep into CT. Lucky that long rush is paying dividends. Another headshot. Rain's gone. Neo's got paranoia. He has to worry about long. Does pick up the Molotov. Does pick up the York. His shopping has bore fruits. But now, 3 versus 3. The bomb yet to commit. They can back away from this one. Amanek's position in CT. He's been there for so long. Avoids the flash. The Mac 10's not good. Olaf's better. So now the numbers do favor the defensive side. Bomb in the hands of Kenny. That Molotov's not going to land. The smoke was there.
Neo would have gone down for sure. If he throws a Molotov a second later, he gets the kill! What the hell is that for Kenny S? He's back! It's 2-on-1! And Guardian has nothing to do about this. He's stuck in CT's spawn. And he gets the jumping shot. I'm going to lose my mind. He has so much work to do here. And we've got a kit, an AWP. The first shot won't connect, but Kenny S certainly did. That was absolutely God tier.
How does he get the second? The first, sure, it's Kenny S. The second, so quick. I could barely process. He spotted him. Connects and finds 13 for G2. They're closing in on match point. Take a look at this one. Quickest flick onto Olaf, but this second shot, so ready for it. Just another day in the park for Kenny.
Oh my God. I'm lost for words, Alex.
Oh my
that's
God.
why Dust 2, with Guardian and Kenny S on the server, is some of the most entertaining esport you can ever watch in your entire life. Yeah, take the timeout, man. Let's get in there. Let's get stuck in.
I mean, we all know where that timeout's come from.
Yup.
Kenny's smiling. And now it's a chance for them to reflect. A bit of a moment of meditation. Coach Malek, of course, can step in. And it's perhaps even a conversation of where do we go from here? You're staring down the barrel of 13. Inferno in the wings if we need it, but FaZe, they can't quite get there. The buy's awkward here. Is that what the conversation's about? Just swallow our pride, accept 14?
It's the age-old conversation, Alex. So do we force buy and essentially go for it, try and deny everything, or we take the eco, allow them to get one step closer to knocking us out of the tournament? Neither option is good. They've taken the more conservative approach. They can win these rounds. If they can get this one, there's a real conversation of the comeback here. Needs a quick 1 deek from Rain. Not going to happen. FaZe starting to fall apart here. Deagle recovered, though, towards shore. It's Neo. He's been playing very well today. He's had so many tests sent his in direction. Remember, the B bomb site and train, almost every round having to get 3 kills. A bomb site, every single bit of utility being thrown in his direction. He's done what he can today. 13-7 down. They have 1 HE and a 5-on-4. G2 cannot afford to give this round up. It is theirs to lose.
Has Amanek set up a little trap with that bomb in tons? He's like, it's dropped, it's loose. He's just sitting there with a Mac 10. Just doesn't want to necessarily get caught on his walkabouts with it. Does retrieve it once again. No aggression from the CTs into tons. Neo. Oh, Nico shows up. It's a Nico deagle. It's always a threat. Shox with the AK just as much. So quick with that. Finds 2, and Nico, despite his best efforts, I think he's going to have to accept this round's gone. Very quick 2. This is the problem when you've got so many big names in the server, you can't catch all the action. Shox has done
There's a
something
lot.
ridiculous, but so has Nico.
There's a lot going on, a lot of moving parts here, that's for sure. Nico still has a chance to win this. If you're not aware of how good this kid is, just wait for it. We call him the Bulgarian bulldozer. He does not Bulgarian, the Bosnian bulldozer. That's the wrong player.
No, that's Cirque.
That was Cirque we were calling.
We have them
right.
too. We have them too. Lots of bulldozers.
All the bulldozers. This one's Bosnian, but it's not going to be. Oh, I thought it was going to be taken out of the round just then. Not going to happen.
It's just the impossible task. Shox is going to challenge, and well, that's the third for him. Fourth, excuse me, a huge round from Shox. Admittedly, against that awkward FaZe buy, but it secures 14 and it does so neatly. FaZe, they've done it with Glocks. Even in this map alone, you really have to respect every single round versus FaZe, and that's exactly what Shoxy just did. 14 then to 7.
Well, this is where the eco has led them to. It's not even Guardian on the AWP here. Has Nico got the best spawn? He actually hasn't. Maybe Guardians has been rattled too much on the orb. Nico's going to challenge T-spawn right here. He's actually going to go for it. Wait for it. Waiting for his chance. No, doesn't. Okay, he was lining it up. I don't know whether he's waiting for a sound cue or anything towards lower, just to see whether he could get that first pick, but not going to happen. And it's going to be Shoxy now, up against Nico. There's the smoke towards long doors to allow him to peek around the corner if he wants to. 3 players with G2 out.
Oh, this is a tough fight. Neo's there. Oh, he can't trade it.
He hit both. He hit Nico as well after killing Neo.
No way, a collateral from Kenny. Nico's bleeding. Down to just 16, and the responsibility of A-Long is his. Kenny, that damage could come back to haunt FaZe Clan, and right now it does. The flash, Nico completely exposed. So a FaZe Clan, to be honest, 14. This is likely to be the 15th unless the heroics of these remaining 3 can arrive on the scene. Rain, just tippy top of his head from Amanek.
We've got Rain, who's considered one of the best short players in the entirety of Dust 2. He is a god at this position. They're going to need him to deliver here, but it's long is where G2 are focusing. Guardian, remember, didn't even want the orb this round. It was Nico that was given the responsibility. A desperate spray for the smoke could have cost him his life. Looking for series point here. G2, with time remaining, 30 seconds. They have a player towards middle. That's going to be Amanek, who will go for the backstab once his team fully commits. They want to cause chaos first. They want to suggest the final commitment, and he'll come in towards CT spawn just as they take contact.
If they make this awkward, if they can find 2 here, Guardian, you control your own destiny, you control your fate. The flashes, the nades, they're freaking him out. The spray's through, he's fully blind. Amanek on the flank finds Olof. This looks like 15, 9 seconds, it's a safe plant, no nades to question it, and it's over. 15, G2 Esports are poised for a semi-final. And FaZe, they can't find the resistance, they can't find the fights. This is all they have for their last stand. Scouts, Deagles, MP9s, the French on home soil set aim for the semi.
This has been a wonderful performance, and this is how it should be. You got Shoxy, 24 kills at the very top. Kenny S, 21. Everyone's been saying this the last year and a half. Where have these 2 players gone? Why are they not leading the way? They were the most celebrated French names probably of the entire history of CSGO, and they've dropped off dramatically. This has been an incredible performance on the big stage. Quarterfinals against FaZe on their map pick, and they're schooling them right now. One more round will do it on their T side. Scouts, MP9s, for masses. There's barely anything to work with here, Alex. But FaZe need to try and make it work. A Scout, MP9 crossfire along. Shoxy aggressive towards middle, taken down with the Deagle of Rain.
You got to remember, FaZe and their Desert Eagles. Nico, some aggression from long. Actually, he doesn't go down. Just enough evasive maneuvers. He's only got a Scout. It's unlikely he does too much more. Rain, however, has found a second. Now Neo chimes in. Match point. They've got hundreds of them, it feels, but this one perhaps going to slip away. Just Kenny and Amanek.
If ever there was a chance to close it out, that was it. But now, though, 5-on-2. Amanek makes his way through towards the B side. He's just going to try and get out in the corner.
Yeah, he does.
It could be enough, you know. He gets his 2 kills on B. The rotations alone will be enough. There it is. The second was there, Alex. If he gets that, Kenny has a chance to fall back and go farm B. There was actually a real strong case to be made there. Doesn't happen, and FaZe keep their head above water for now. 15-8, 7 rounds in a row required just for overtime.
Nico's going to be kicking himself. If he was just a little closer when he connected onto Kenny, they'd have been able to bring an AWP into this round. Unable to do so. He had the Scout. He was running straight towards Kenny's corpse, but just shy, a couple of meters. So sacrifices will be made. as FaZe once again look to stand the test of G2.
They can do this. If ever there was a team with tenacity, it would be the FaZe clan. They don't have the AWP here, and I think that's fine. Sometimes you got to admit it's not working out for you. Guardian normally so good in that B bomb side of the AWP, but it just hasn't been working out for him today. Focusing on a more forgiving weapon, the AWP. But the B play, the final finish potentially here from G2.
Starting to charge flash in. Olof's going to be on the corner. He does only get the one, but the French are in. Wide open sight. Bomb goes down. It's notoriously difficult to retake. FaZe, your days are numbered. Shox is even there for the mid-rotate. Rain, you can fire off all the shots you want. He won't show unless he needs to. There is a flank coming up, and he's so cognizant of it. Oh, he's so ready. Not gonna find Neo.
He doesn't normally miss those. The pressure getting to him somewhat, Alex. 3 versus 3. One kid available. Smoke for the tunnels, and it's coming in. This is gonna work for FaZe here. They need to find these kills. Jax miss, and Rain gets him.
Lucky he's low on the bricks. He needs more than one. Kenny's already connected. It's looking good for G2. They're so low. And 1v1 is Lucky. 3 in the round. It's 16 in total. G2 2-0. Versus FaZe Clan here in Montpellier. They're off to the semi-finals.
This is the team I've been waiting for. This is a team that can actually lift the trophy. G2, and finally the hard work's been done. They've done the theory. They've got the power there as well. It's all coming together. A 2-0 convincing victory over FaZe Clan. That is what we've been looking for. KennyS and Shox at the very top of the scoreboard. That is more like it. A statement has been made. French CS might be back, Alex.
People said we hadn't seen G2 tested. They lost to NRG. Their wins were versus Cloud9 and Heroic. But now, a heroic victory versus FaZe Clan.
That was absolutely phenomenal. What a game. We will leave you in the capable hands of the desk and bring you the next quarterfinal very shortly.
Wow, wow, wow. I can't possibly say it, emphasize it enough. The shots were there, the performance was there, and G2 is here, and now a semi-finalist.
I told you the stars were aligned for G2 to perform. And I'm not the I told you so guy, but definitely they had everything individually. They looked in it. That victory versus Heroic right before that, they looked right where they needed to be, and they performed.
The word that Henry used there at the end was convincing, right? It's definitely a very convincing victory, that's for sure. I think for me, the word that I want to use for how they were able to get such a convincing victory on the board was prepared, right? They were hugely prepared for everything that FaZe had to throw on them. All their little gimmicky plays, all the stuff, their fallbacks, their scrimmy plays when the strats aren't working. G2 were ready for all of it.
But you know what we're ready for right now is to actually tell the people at home to do the Mountain Dew Amped Game Fuel Power Play. Head over to Twitter at ESLCS. Get your votes in. We do have just a few candidates, and these are going to be the few of them right now. Olaf with an Afterplant 4K on Train. You've got KennyS with a 3K retake on the B site on Train. Nico, of course, with a 4K in the tunnels, because that's what Nico does on Dust 2. And then Shox with a little bit of a mid-ace. Let's check them out right now. Let's run them so that we can all relive the glory that are these Mountain Dew Amped Game Fuel Power Play candidates.
The Mountain Dew Amp Game Fuel Power Plays.
So I thought we were going to be there for a while, but we got into them. That's all good. Obviously, this one here from Kenny, the flick on up towards the high ramp. This was vintage Kenny, and I didn't think it was going to carry over from Dallas. I didn't think the form was something that was able to be continued, but G2 have shown me wrong here today, haven't they?
That was convincing, and here we saw Nico main easy, but this was absolutely insane. Shoxy coming out of the smoke with the UMP, getting 3 first, very quick kills, then switching over to the USPs, even gonna go for the last one.
Yeah, even grabs that ace, and that was really, really beautifully done. What we're gonna do now is kind of check into what is going on down on the stage. We do have a live interview, I believe, right there with the winners, and I think it's just about time G2 had the final word.
Je suis archi fier d'eux parce que c'est la première fois qu'ils jouent sur une scène avec autant d'ambiance et ils ont été super, franchement ils ont été chauds, ils sont restés sereins, pas d'excitation, communication on point, tout on point, l'équipe était parfaite et encore une fois c'est aussi grâce au public, donc merci.
Vous l'aurez compris, les G2 sont dans le game, on les retrouve tout à l'heure, enfin demain pour la demi-finale, on les applaudit bien fort, les G2. Voilà, les G2 excited on stage. See you for the next quarterfinal. See you guys.
Yeah, caught the tail end of that one there, but that's okay because luckily today we actually have a gentleman on the desk that can translate.
I can do that?
What did he say?
I can do that. Well, the main takeaway from Kenny's interview was that they stayed calm and they were disciplined and the communication was good and calm. And I think this is the key here when they play on stage. And even I talked with Malek before that game and they said that one of the issues they had was that at the beginning of games, they would get a little bit unfocused, maybe a little bit too excited, make some mistakes they wouldn't do, even though they had talked about it. You said it, they were ready. But this time, Kenny said they were calm and they were disciplined.
I think something important to point out here, because we said it in the pre-game, Amanek for these guys on Dust 2 is normally the highest rated player, or at least on average, right, from all the games he's played with them on Dust 2. Here, he only had 9 kills, so that means that the haul from everybody else was alive. Shox with 24, Kenny with 22, Jax with 20, and Lucky with 19 kills, and they just dismantled FaZe here. They didn't feel like they were in too much trouble at all. Obviously, they lost the Force Spy early there in the first half, but other than that, they were just ready and raring to go, and this is a good-looking G2.
Yeah, and the key takeaway here from FaZe Clan would be what? Because yes, this is the end of their run here. They do have other things to look forward to, but where will they go from here? It feels like we've kind of built this foundation of Neo being back in the fold and really having something to show within the FaZe Clan.
I think it's complicated to make a conclusion or a statement about FaZe right now. I believe that Train was a decent showing from them, sure. Then on Dust 2, I believe that they were close to break G2 early on in the first half, but then G2 just answered back. We saw crazy clutches. We saw Kenya's moment, obviously Shox through the smoke, for example. And I believe that FaZe, they were really close, just taking that second map. But I don't really know what to make of this. This is disappointing, I think is the word.
I think what's important to note here is that Neo only joined this roster as the in-game leader on the 13th of June. Sorry, the 13th of May, guys. That's how it works.
Yeah.
So the 13th of May is when he joined the team.
Still recent.
Yeah, we're in June already. I forgot about that. So he hasn't been on this team for a very long time, right? It's just been over a month. They've been implementing more strategy, right? They've been looking more and more prepared in that regard, but it's still going to take time until they can get everybody 100% into that style of playing more strat-heavy CS. So they're going to be very disappointed. You know, I was actually, giving them, I was letting them off the hook for yesterday's performance against Mouse Sports because I thought, it's not a big deal if they lose. But here now, this performance, they've been blown out of the water.
Yeah, and that's a really underwhelming finish to them here in Asatani, but unfortunately, that is the way that these things have to go. Right now, it's only fortunate for us that we got you over there voting on the polls at ESLCS with the Mountain Dew Amped Game Fuel Power Play, and here's the results. It's looking like the fact that it was a Shox 4K, and I do believe that that was him on Dust 2?
Yeah, coming out mid,
running through the smoke. That's the one I'm thinking of. Anyway, he does win. He does get that poll result. We are actually going to get a recap right now. Take it away, Chad.
I think something that's important to note here with this one here, we can get it playing straight away if the powers that be can make that happen, is the timing of this push. It's because when you go for a mid to B and you creep out mid as a T, you're waiting for the call that you're going to snap on up that B hill. It's very difficult to catch them in this perfect timing right here because somebody's been watching this smoke for the majority of this time. For him to pounce through like this, drive by and grab all these kills, it's remarkable. This is the Shox that we all want to see every day of the week, and it's fantastic that we got to see it here today in front of the home crowd in France, Trace. So you have to be happy with Shox, you have to be happy with Kenny, you have to be happy with the French. Vive la France?
Vive la France?
Vive la France. I don't know if I'm insane, but I believe that Guardian, who was the 4th player to fall down in that clip, was flash in the hand, ready to flash for his teammate. Yeah. I think he was the player supposed to cover that. I think he was the safety net for Shox to go out of the smoke, and right when he was about to flash for them, Shox goes out. Miracle
Perfect
happens.
timing.
Yeah, perfect timing. It was almost as if it was planned well in advance, but those are the type of little intricate details that have to happen right there for there to be success, for you to shine in those moments. And speaking of shining, there were some statistics shining through here. Look at Shox, look at the KD differential, but more importantly, look at the trail that G2 is blazing in this playoff.
I think what stands out is the fact that 4 players out of 5 have an ADR between 82
That's
and
insane,
86.
isn't it?
That is a recipe for team success. Yes, Amanek was a little bit behind, but it doesn't matter. It's job done. I think Shox and Kenny have to be the MVPs of Dust 2. Together, they combined, I believe, 14 open frags, had both around 100 ADR. That was impressive from them, but just a team effort overall.
Yeah, and this is the thing, right? When we're looking at G2, when we're discussing this roster and what they could potentially be, the conversation after Dallas was, well, Jax, you've got Lucky, Amanek as the star. These guys are the future of this team. If Shox and Kenny show up and give us a vintage performance, that's how high their ceiling can go. But if these two individuals can play more consistently like we're used to in the past, like we were seeing back in the days of 2015, if we can get those kind of consistent performances, then the whole discussion changes. Because Jax here as an entry fragger, as somebody who's zoned in, honed in, taking advantage of those timings, very Apex-esque in that regard. Then you've got Amanek, who's doing a lot of roles here. He's getting a lot of work done, making space, lurking, clutching, And then Lucky is plugging the remainder of the gaps, occasionally doing secondary AWPing duties, being more of a utility player. Then we can really start to talk about a well-rounded G2 roster to be feared.
Yeah, and this gentleman on your screen right now, Jax, is one that I kind of want to highlight as a player that's really shown throughout the duration of this tournament where G2 has found the rough spots. It's been Jax to be there, not always the name that is just thrown out in front. It's kind of hard when you have the shadow of a Kenny S, or you have Amanek that's really kind of getting into his own and really on fire. Jax has been very pivotal in this lineup.
I agree. Jax has been doing a fantastic job. If you were to compare both French teams, I would say Jax is the RPK of G2. He's the one that has the mechanical skill. He has the position to eliminate opponents. That's what they're hoping for him. They put him in a great position. They say, you know what, no one trespasses.
I think he's a little bit more mobile for me than an RPK.
He moves a little bit more, right?
I like the premise.
But you see how it looks like.
He can't really get that turret going. Speaking of a turret, this tank, Nico, is not, well, he's not out of everything altogether. They are out here, Vasatani, but Nico is a player of his own. Having just passed off that torch in terms of leadership, we're going to pass it on down to the sidelines now and get some words from Nico directly.
A tough loss for FaZe once again coming out here. And the first thing I want to ask you, Nico, is it's just been over a month with Neo. Things are obviously changing, but you won last time around in Dallas. What happened this time? Because I'd say the last couple of games for you guys felt a bit flat compared to what we expect from FaZe.
Yeah, I don't know what really happened. This is like the worst I see us play so far, I would say. G2 played amazing, but still, like, this is the worst we have showed since we got Neo. So I don't know, we just made a lot of individual mistakes and like a lot of bad executions happened. And yeah, there's a lot to take from this match. And yeah, hopefully just try to work on our mistakes and improve for the next event. There's not much we can do right now except just working out mistakes and yeah, keeping our heads high.
No, I completely get that. Now, with Neo, right, it's the first time he's been in his team where he has to speak English. How was this kind of adjustment for you guys? Do you think it's just more time that's needed now?
Yeah, Philip definitely needs more time to speak in English when he's calling, because sometimes, like, in the close matches, the communication gets a bit hectic, and then he, like, it's just everything is new for him, right? He has never spoken in English in any team, so. But our communication is not the issue. Like, it's. Our communication is better than we all expected, so we cannot blame it on communication at all. It's just that we played poorly as a team and make some individual mistakes.
And one last thing, what would you say is just needed for this FaZe to live up to the expectations and probably what you guys want to happen in winning?
I don't know, I feel like I have to step up a lot individually. I have been playing not the way I wanted since Philip joined, and I don't know what's the issue. I'm trying to work it out, trying to play a lot. It's just that, like, I didn't click yet with Philip in the team. So, I mean, my game didn't click yet with Philip in the team. So I feel like if I play my own game, I think we can be way better. And yeah.
No, I get it, man. I get it. Hey, thank you so much for your time. I know these things aren't easy. I know you're a champ and you want to get these wins in. FaZe will be back. We'll always see them back. We're going to go back to the desk for now, and we'll see what they can thought of all of that.
Yeah, it's a tough one there for Nico and company. Just as they try to get things off the ground, it is actually not going to be happening here in France for the duration of this weekend. That is all she wrote for FaZe Clan.
And you know, Nico is normally a player who's towards the top of the scoreboard with all of that impact, so it must be very frustrating for a star player who's unable to find the answers to getting him back to that. But I think something that he can look at, as them as a team have been playing, even though this result here wasn't fantastic, in the recent time since Neo has joined, they've been playing better as a team than what we've seen since Carrigan was kicked off.
Yeah, and it's such a weird timeline for FaZe overall. Chad, I'm going to get you to go ahead and head over there to where you're going so we can get this into a perspective that perhaps we can all kind of benefit from, perhaps we can all learn something from. And I do love the weatherman portion, so let's see what you got, Chad.
So we talked about them being really prepared for everything that FaZe had to throw at them. So what I want to first of all do is just point out something here. You can see the default's been done, and now all the members from FaZe Clan are here ready to execute on towards A. This is the strat style of FaZe that we're seeing. The flank is open from long, from lower dark, and they could even push mid and take short control. That's important for you guys to remember, as I want to get this one here playing on out. The execute's going to come in any second, and the key point here is to note that there are 1, 2, 3 flashes that they can use, and they're using them to push Kenny S off the line. You can see the smokes, the nades, the molotovs coming in, but Kenny dodges them all, finds a kill, and then when he repositions, he's ready for every single maneuver. The next step, he backs off. He doesn't want to risk his life. Grabs this kill right here onto Guardian entering the site. So he just booked 2 players. Now what I want to know, if we can quickly pause it, is if you can see that they don't have long control, they don't have short control, all they have is the sight. They can be completely suffocated out of this round. We'll play it out again, and what you're going to notice happen here is FaZe take the only risk that is available to them. Take the fight to G2 and drop into spawn. You can see them here pushing. Rain grabs one, Nico drops to take the territory, but there's another, and they get traded on out. This round here, it drops flat, and big round for G2 to win. We can continue forward because there's something else that I want to show you that Henry was talking during the cast. It was when it gets scrimmy, when they have to mix it up. So if we bring up Dust 2 here, just for all of you at home, if you're not 100% aware, most times you see two players in the B bomb site, you see two players over towards long, making sure that a player can get towards pit, and then one helping, throwing the flashes, doing all those type of nades. So what does that mean? We can run straight down mid or straight up cat normally. And this is what FaZe like to do. They let Nico and Rain kind of scrim around. Well, G2 were ready for this as well. We'll play out the replay from the game, and this is it. They need something. That strat-heavy style we saw, it didn't work. They need the flare. They need Nico to deliver. That's Nico running straight down mid. Guess who's ready for him on this other side? Shox. Close mid doors. You're dead. Nico wasn't even ready for a player to come that close. That's all I've got for you today. There's a couple of little tips there or things to note for G2 and their preparation for FaZe Clan.
Yeah, and it's so beautifully put. I actually think that those are very, very informative. Maniac, would you have anything to potentially add and maybe build off what Chad said?
I mean, I'm a great fan of the Weatherman. I really like the way Chad does it. But just to bounce on it, I think the key point is discipline. I think you could see from G2 the discipline in that, whether it would be Kenyas and the way he navigates around the smokes and the flash, and once he gets the frag, he pulls back.
Yes.
Because we have seen Kenyas in the past just going for a frag and then going for another one, then feeling it, and then going again. That would be the mistake. Now he gets the frag, he goes back, gets another one, then he's safe. He's outside long. No one can take him back.
You saw him build that into the game, though. As they started to extend the lead, the confidence kind of built behind them. That point in where we saw him go for that round, it was 5-5 or 4-5 or whatever the scoreline was. But then as the game went on, he just got ballsier and started going for those picks. They got Henry bloody out of his chair. Everyone in the green room got scared. I didn't know what was going on. But that's kind of the snowball of the confidence. And these guys come from the era of really brawly CS, which is based off of confidence.
True, very true. And as much as I love the Weatherman thing as well, the only thing that the Weatherman has is precipitation on the cards for Rain, and I'm talking about for FaZe Clan. Right on top of them. They are out. They will not be going to the semifinals. It's going to be G2 now netting themselves a berth against NRG Esports. It's just weird to say. It is just truly weird to say that about NRG. Already all the storylines with them coming into this one, now finding themselves in a semifinal of the whole shebang, does set us up for what will be our next matchup. Astralis versus Team Liquid here in a best-of-3 quarterfinal. Already one that we already considered to be at least the grand final. Boy, Christmas comes early sometimes, and perhaps Christmas will be coming right now in Occitanie, France. We're going to go to a quick break. When we do come back, we're going to jump into some stuff here to keep you guys entertained while we wait for the next match to start.
Well, I mean, that's the reason why we play, right?
Oh, it's a lovely sound in my ears, Alex. It's a lovely sound.
Who thinks that the North American Counter-Strike scene is back?
Chicago, make some noise for Team American.
This is their chance to grab a trophy on home soil.
Taco waits below it, though. Taco waits below it, and he ults! That's absolutely sensational!
At the highest level of play, there can be no compromises. Gamers demand the highest clock speeds to give them the FPS they need to perform. Rise to the moment. Intel Core i7, the official CPU of the ESL Pro League. Game, record, stream without compromise.
Bon spectacle. is game fuel. 16 ounces of pure annihilation. Tastes like berry-flavored wind sauce.
New Mountain Dew Amp Game Fuel. Victory in a can.
I am rich and high. Lex. Yeah. Yo. Got the army with me like Xerxes. Understand you can't hurt me. I got a couple dickies chilling in my room who be shaking it like the twerk team. Ladies, show me where them curves be. Curious, I'm not pervy. Honestly, you and your best friend could go and develop a new twerk scene. Got the army with me like Xerxes. Army with me like Xerxes. Understand you can't hurt me. Understand you can't hurt me. I got the army with me like Xerxes. Understand you can't hurt me. I got a couple dickies chilling in my room who be shaking it like the twerk team. Have your girlfriend run straight to my yard and have her up in my bed. Yup, 20 minutes I'm dead. I tell her okay leave, no Snapchat or back chat please. What color is your backpack? Yep, green. Tell your boyfriend he's a white twat G. Shake it. Understand you can't hurt me. Got a couple dickies chilling in my room who be shaking it like the twerk team. Ladies, show me where them curves be. Curious, I'm not pervy. Honestly, you and your bestie could go and develop a new twerk scene like.
Chasing all my dreams up lately. No matter if I try too hard, nothing's ever enough, baby. No, I don't care too much. I don't care too much. As long as I can keep you by my side. I don't care too much. We got time, no rush. In your eyes.
Connection lost. Connection lost.